Sneakers and Cleats, the podcast. TNL Top 10 for Week 3. Brennan stays on top because they beat Smithson Valley last week. It was a hell of a ball game over at Gus that we had on TNL. It was kind of a cluster just because it was Cowboys opening night as well. But great game. Great game at Gus.
It really was. And, you know, I think we talked about it on the broadcast, right? I don't think we were going to be worried about either team long-term, win or lose. The way Brennan really stepped it up after the slow start was they just
It was an avalanche.
got that was a very good way of actually putting it. That came to my mind as well. But just their relentlessness and nobody quit, nobody gave up, nobody panicked, right? And then also too, you know, Carlos Sanchez is top 10 looking pretty darn firm right now with, you know, his initial picks for the most part.
I have a couple of issues that we'll get to in a little bit
Okay.
about a certain team that is not even on my first page here, which is a problem. So Brennan is now 2-0. They'll play Sotomayor Saturday, Ferris Stadium. Soto has never beat Brennan. They've only been around for 4 years, so they're 0-4. But Soto has been really close to winning a couple of games this year. I mean, they went, we'll get to it in a little bit, but they had a really tough game last week against Brandeis. Steele is 2-0. They're number 2 in our TNL Top 10. They beat Reagan last week, so now Reagan's 2 losses are to our top 2 teams, Steele and Brennan. So nothing to sneeze at for Reagan. They lost 28-13. Brandeis is their next game. Steele will host Brandeis at Lenhoff. Steele now has 23 regular season wins total, consecutive.
Wow.
Over the last 3 seasons. That's nothing, or 4 seasons technically.
Especially because of who they schedule early on in the year, right? They're never scheduling the quote-unquote Sisters of the Poor.
Yeah, never scheduling cupcakes. Harlan is number 3. They defeated Madison 28-24 last week. Your Madison Mavericks are pretty frisky this year.
They have
Blaine
been,
Peterson.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
They're playing a lot better than they were last year.
They got a receiver over there that's pretty good, don't they?
Yeah, Jordan Clay, pretty damn good. Harlan is off this week, so they have a bye week. They'll play Brennan next week. That's intentional from Coach Salas. You want your biggest game coming right off a bye, so especially because Jivery Graham, their star running back, who's going to. I'm gonna kick myself because I'm forgetting who he's going.
I am
where
too.
Where
now
he's
that
going.
you said it, it's like.
I want to say Baylor, but I know
And
it's
I
wrong.
want to say SMU.
It's one of those two.
And we're probably both wrong.
Probably hell of a game
So
between those two last week. They play Brennan next week, so they will stay stagnant. But Jiver Graham is hurt, and so he gets a week kind of to heal up before the Brennan game, which is going to be a banger over at Ferris Stadium next week. Johnson defeated Piper last week. Johnson's a 6A team. Piper's a 5A team. Take that for what you will. Piper lost 31-22 to Johnson behind 4 picks. 4 picks, and they still only lost by 9 points, Piper. So Piper is still on this TNL Top 10 for a reason, but Johnson is, I would argue that Johnson should be higher on this list. But we'll give Carlos his grace here. But Johnson's a very good team and can make a run.
Yeah, we saw them week 1, and I just, we talked about it last week, right? You love that they're good, but you love that they've thrown it out there. Like, a run of the state championship is within the cards, we feel like.
Yeah, number 5 is the New Braunfels Unicorns. They won the worst bowl last week. Not worst as in WORST. WURST.
I don't think you needed to explain that to anybody up in here.
In here? Some people listen from other places.
We have international listeners.
Okay, that's true.
What about the people in Paris that tune in for Wemby? If then they're continuing to listen.
Fair enough.
First of all, thank you.
I stand corrected.
Anyway, they New Braunfels won 41-15 over Canyon last week. They played Del Rio in Del Rio.
We might
this
be
Friday.
sleeping on them a little bit too with their quick start.
New Braunfels are really good. Plus, they just destroyed Jay last year in the playoffs. Like Brad Mulder's got those guys cooking. So Smithson Valley falls to 6. It's a pretty far fall, Carlos.
Okay. Well, that would be fair.
I would put that a little higher.
It's not where you start, it's where you finish.
I guess so. Last week they lost to Brennan, obviously. They play Madison this week, 7 o'clock at Ranger Stadium on Friday. This is their last non-district game before getting into district play. Brandeis is 2-0. They are number 7 in our TNL Top 10. They defeated Soto, as I alluded to earlier, in triple overtime last week at Ferris Stadium. 48-46 in triple OT. So a hell of a game. They've had 2 really close games, Brandeis. Their first game, they were up 35-0 or 35-3 on O'Connor. O'Connor came all the way back, took the lead at 38 35, and then Brandeis scored a late touchdown. And then this one they win in triple OT. I think Keamy Lewis is aging by the day. Double. So
not as long as you're winning, right?
I mean, they got a tough one against Steele. They're 1-8 all time against Steele in this rivalry. They play Friday at Lenhoff 7:30. Piper is 1-1. They lost to Johnson. They play Davenport this week at Warrior Stadium 7:30 on Friday. This is the one I have an issue with. Alamo Heights. They should be way higher on this list. They are so freaking good.
Yeah.
Alamo Heights and Coach Rittiman, like, this is just another Coach Rittiman squad who is just tough as nails. And remember when, I think it was 2 weeks ago, maybe last week, I said DK Garza might be better and has made the biggest improvement of anybody in our area.
And that's saying something. It's like up from up.
Yeah, 368 yards and 6 touchdowns for DK Garza last week against Churchill. They won 54-24 over Churchill. Like, that's video game numbers.
They got dudes on top of dudes, as we saw last year, even when they had the dude.
Yeah, I would put Alamo Heights way higher, especially over Piper, who's a separate 5A team, and they're 1-1. Alamo Heights is 2-0, and convincing 2-0. They won 70-35 and 54-24. I would put them way higher on this list. And plus, since Piper only beat Bernie by 4 points. So, I mean, there's nothing against Piper. I'm just saying Alamo Heights is shown that they're better so far this season. Clark is 2-0. They're number 10 in our TNL top 10. They defeated Stevens last week, 47-21. This coming week, they play East Central at Ferris on Friday.
Did you know that Clark hasn't beat East Central since 2002?
It's on my sheet.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Damn, he
chime in a little bit there.
He took my nugget
He
from
took
me.
the words right out of my mouth.
I was literally about to say that. All right, let's get to our TNL game of the week. John Jay versus South San, 2 5A teams. It's starting off district play tonight, 7 o'clock at Gustafson Stadium. On the CWSA, if you can't be there, even though we would prefer you to be there because you get to see our shining, beautiful faces and me stuffing my face full of pizza as I do every Thursday now because of the Little Caesars Thursday Night Lights.
Dude, 2 weeks in a row. Congrats on really big plays of sending the pizzas upstairs, too.
Well, last week I was running out of
not gone unnoticed.
Last week I was running out of the stadium. I was like, I got to bring pizza upstairs. Hold on.
That was very, very sweet of you. Thank you.
So South San, we'll start with South San because we weren't able to talk to Coach Gutierrez and John Jay on camera this week. So we'll start with South San, Coach Phil Barron, the third. He is in his 4th season, I think, over at South San. I have my notes right here from Chris Kotfus. He started in 2020, so it was actually his 5th season over at South San. Last year, they were 8-3. It had their best record since 1998. So he's got the guys over there playing much better than when he took over the program. Let's hear from Coach Barron and the guys before we chime in.
Yeah, I think it's just the experience our kids have that's kind of led us to our 2-0 start. A bunch of juniors, a bunch of seniors on the team that have been there before, and I think that's why we're at.
At this particular point in the season, as you get ready for district play, has anything surprised you? Has any group of these guys kind of even exceeded the expectations so far?
I think we've seen from the boys what we expected. A bunch of these boys had really good off seasons, really good summers. So I think that they're kind of meeting the standard and the expectation that they had in the fall and in summer, or in the spring and in summer.
Now you get ready to start district play, and obviously you're going up against one of the powerhouses in this district. Do you need to even say anything to these guys to get these guys even motivated for what they're going to face on Thursday night?
Yeah, we're 2-0, they're 2-0, and they've got a really good ball club over there. Coach Gutierrez has done a great job, and so it's a rematch from last year, and I think the boys are excited for it and ready to play John Jay for the second round, and both being 2-0. So hopefully the result's a little bit different this year.
This is not a program that a whole lot of people in San Antonio, other than the South San faithful, know a whole lot about. This week you get a chance to showcase that talent on TNL. How special is that for you guys now that San Antonio will get to see a 2-0 South San team go up against a 2-0 John Jay team?
Every opportunity is special, like it could be little, it could be big. As long as it's football, it's a special opportunity. So
Can't wait to watch him play tonight. Coach Barron tells a great story about him where he was in middle school and he said he was so tiny. He comes up to Barron and he says, "I'm going to be your quarterback someday." And Phil goes, "Yeah, sure, buddy. You can be the B team guy for now." And he said that kid has worked every year, gotten better and better and better, and just loves everything about that guy as his quarterback. And, guy called his shot, and here he is. So it's going to be a fascinating matchup tonight because both coaches really, really enjoy each other's company. They go back a long way. Of course, little running back from there. And, Gary's been at Jay for 1,000 years, it seems like.
2013, yeah.
And these guys win, man. They win. And both of these teams are really, really good. Jay's a little bit smaller than they have been. They're a little younger than they have been, but I'll be doggone if they don't find a way to win down there at John Jay.
I think in an honest moment, Coach Gutierrez would say that this team, not that this team is worse, but this team is a slight step back from the teams of a couple of years. I mean, you look at the team he had 2 years ago with his son at quarterback, and they were one of the best 5A teams in the state. Or, excuse me, they were 6A at that point. They moved to 5A last year. And last year, they were right there to win that district with Southwest, but Southwest was one of the best 5A teams in the state, and there was a reason because of the two hosses that they had on the outside and the skill position. So, and Coach Franco's son, obviously, as the quarterback. So you look at them this year, and right now maybe they're not at the point of continuity that they were over the last 2 seasons at this point, but I guarantee you by game 10, John Jay is going to be knocking on the door for at least probably a district title, and for sure a playoff spot.
Yeah, I mean, you would expect both of these teams to be there at the end. I think it's fascinating that we get a game like this, both of these teams, like right out of the gate. It's one of those games for me, kind of hope that would come down to the end of the season, both teams kind of duking it out or jockeying for playoff position, or maybe even to win the district title.
Well, it's one of the reasons we scheduled Jay and Southwest later in the season, because those two were the teams that were battling for a district title. South San had 2 losses in district last year, to Southwest and to John Jay. So this game very well could decide a district title, and it's pretty cool to see that's going to be on our air, and we're going to get to witness it firsthand.
Doggone right. 3rd straight week in a row, we don't have a single team that's played on TNL with a loss. So we're on a hot streak here to start.
Who's next week?
I don't know.
We really take
I'm
this
literally
1 week
at a time, bro.
Gary Gutierrez and his team, obviously 2-0. They are one of the best run teams that we have. They've had some really good players come out of that school. Jacob Zeno, just to name a few, or just to name one. They lost last year to New Braunfels in the first round, but they are always really, really good over at John Jay.
And Jay's got a linebacker.
Yeah, do you want to tell them about the MIT?
Yeah,
kid?
I won't give away the kid's name yet because I'd like to save some of this for the broadcast. But yeah,
you can give
he's
it
in
away
the robotics club. He's got a really high GPA. He plays the upright bass. How old school is that?
He's in orchestra, yeah.
And his goal is to play football at MIT. And I think it was news to both of us that MIT does have a football team, Division III.
Yeah, did you guys know that? You guys know MIT plays football?
Division III football.
I had no idea.
I had no clue.
But I mean, how cool is that you got a kid that multi-talented, that cultured, whatever. I mean, you put all that into one kid, and we're going to go watch him play football tonight.
And he's going to MIT, and it's his GPA is a 4.5. Like, I couldn't even dream of that.
No, me neither.
That's like 2 points away from where I was in high school.
Can't even spell it.
What'd you say? Alamo Heights and Clemens next
there
week.
You go.
Thank you.
We had Alamo Heights Clemens last year too.
Yeah,
it's the MIT engineers, of course.
Of course they are. Do you think they're really good at football?
No.
Or do you think they're really good at like field goals? They can calculate the trajectory and,
no.
and like.
No.
No, you don't think they're really. What was it? Can you look it up? What was their record last year? Now I'm just curious. We've already gone down the rabbit hole.
We've spun off the rails once again.
Just stick with us here.
If you want MIT's football record.
What was their record last season?
Does it matter when they're going to be our bosses someday?
I know. It matters to me.
Okay.
I just really want to know. Leave it to Bob.
Come on.
Digital director over here.
Come on, Bob. You're the internet guy. They call you Cyber Bob for a reason, dude.
I'm going to start looking it up, and it's going to be way faster than this.
I know.
You kids in your
All I get is
internet
Ohio
savvy.
State.
You kids in your interweb.
Yeah, you kids in your intraweb.
Oh my God, I'm not finding it.
How do you not?
You're on Google search. That's the reason. They're blocking you.
Overall, 8-3.
Oh, look at that. They can
Wow.
play too. Of course they're good at football too.
What are you talking about? They were 3-6 last year. I don't even know what he's looking at.
Didn't even play 10 games.
8-3.
Had to study.
All right, maybe it is 8-3. One of us is right. They're either good or bad. It's anyway. This is off the rails. Let's get out of here.
You getting ready to play Creighton? Is that the
Tunis-
Creighton logo I see from there?
No, that's not great.
I thought that was a Blue Jay I saw.
No, that's red.
I don't know what that is.
Is it really? Wow.
Oh, my
I need to
God.
get my eyes checked.
All right, you need a nap. I need a nap.
Yeah, me too.
That's all we got for you today on the podcast. Remember to tune in tonight, Jay versus South San on CWSA. It's going to be really fun. We also stream it live on our Facebook pages and our YouTube pages, right, Bob?
Yes.
So helpful.
On the intranet.
That's all we got for you today. Remember, download, rate, review, subscribe. Tune in tonight. Give us a tell a friend, tell an enemy. We will be back on Monday. We'll see you then.